Okay. Assalamu alaikum once more. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is basically internet connection problem, as you know. It went off somewhere. Anyhow, so we were talking about this Stephen Gosson, and he has basically, in this era, you would see, it is the era of the literature, we can say, literature basically uplifted in the era of Elizabethan age. One of the reason because we see the keenness of Elizabeth, her interest in order to uplift the literature, and she really has work on it for not only for country, because we see that two ladies who have a prominent role in order to uplift the name of UK. You know, GB Great Britain, UK. One was the Elizabethan, and second was Queen Victoria. But anyhow, but detractors and abusers of poetry were also there. You know that if one is getting the fame, the second would be ready in order to pull out the leg of others. It happens because you could find the envy in educated people. You can find the enviousness among the people who are learned. So thus you would find he was going up to the mark, but these basically detractors such as Stephen Gosson, he has charged, he has attacked, and he has said poetry is an abuse. Let's see. The leader of these abusers and detractor was Stephen Gosson. You know that once people say orally, okay, in a orally we cannot catch up others because they are saying orally. But once we find any piece of writing in written, that is the evidence. So this person basically has given his charge, has basically attacked through black and white. And that is why it was the responsibility taken by Sir Sidney Slip in order to answer the question basically he has raised. Okay, he was basically in the company of the Puritan. Gosson wrote a malicious discourse. Discourse means the statement, the school of abuse, and mischievously dedicated to Sir Philip Sidney, who was at the time the most celebrated literary figure. Yes, he has basically named, and it was the responsibility of Philip in order to answer such questions that were asked. Gosson had indicated poetry on four basic grounds, means he has charged four different questions. Okay, let's see what are these. Number one, a man could employ his time more usefully than in poetry. Wow. It means that a person is supposed to do any piece of work, but poetry. Poetry is not useful. You can sleep, you can eat, you can do, you can play, whatever, but don't go for poetry. It means that one is not supposed to be a poet. If he is poet, he cannot do any piece of work. B. Poetry is the mother of lies. He says, if you really want to see the lies, so read poetry because it is the mother of lies. In every sentence, in every verses, you would find a pile of lies, a bundle of lies. Third charge, poetry is the nurse of abuse as well. Means poetry is such a form that creates abusive language. And the last one, Plato had rightly banished poets from his ideal commonwealth. Okay, we have studied, I think. I told you basically he has written a book, The Republic, over there, chapter number 6. He said, I will banish the poets from my ideal state, from my state. So he is giving the reference. Okay, before I would like to go the another page, I want you to please participate. Do you think the first one to to what extent do you agree? Any of them?
For the first charge, you are asking, sir.
Yes.
Well, basically, if a person is a poet or artist, related to the poetry, uh, poetry is the most useful thing for him. But if a person is not poet or not related to the poetry, then he uh, can employ his time more useful than the poetry. If he does not understand what the poetry is, he is not attracted to that. Then surely,
Okay, that is good. It's upon your basic inclination. It's upon your
yes,
keenness.
yes,
If you are interested in, then it's okay. So how about means other people who are engineer, or I want to basically do something, और वो लोग जो मिसाल के तौर पर पोइट्री जो है चले नहीं पढ़ते, अब वो दूसरा काम करना चाह रहे हैं लेकिन उनका इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, तो ये इस तरीके से तो सब पे फिर इल्ज़ाम लग जाएगा.
yes, possibly, yes.
Yes, it is basically in our context. Even our students get bored when once the word poetry comes. I have seen the matriculation level, intermediate level. You know that you when you were students, do you think that you were taught in such a way that you love to read poetry? We were taught forcefully.
Basically, no, no. It was forcefully, there are. If I talk about myself or my period of schooling, there were few who very interested in reading books and poetry from their childhood, related to their home activities. But there are majority of the students who are not interested in that. So forcefully, it was forced. The activity was forced on them.
Okay, they were learning non intentionally, means keenly, but
Yes,
they were forced to
yes,
learn it because they have to pass the
yes,
exam. Okay,
yes.
how about Miss Hina? What do you say about poetry is the mother of lies? Do you agree? I think Hina has slept. Somebody basically has to wake her up.
Sir, may I?
Okay, you, Nida, Nadia.
Sir, I believe that the poetry is the mother of lie because poet describe unusual things in the poetry, and these all things are the imaginary things, and there is no connection of the word with the real life. If you see these things in the real life, it is not connected to that poetry. So I think that these are basically all our imagination and imaginations and lies.
Okay, so don't you think that imagination also the part of reality? Because you are imagining the things, you are having imagination, and your
But
existence shows us that your reality is there.
but sir, but it is also not related to practical life.
Okay,
It
so
is
how?
only in the brain of a person. It is only in the brain of a person, and other person may perceive it in a different way.
Okay, so how about then your ideas then?
Yes, sir.
How about your ideas then?
Sir, I own my idea, but anybody can have a difference of opinion with me.
Hmm?
Sir,
How would you enhance your basically ideas? How would you sharpen them?
sir,
Okay, you think
sir,
that yes? Please carry on.
sir, I think that in order to have idea, we observe things, we read things. That's why we can get idea.
Once you observe, then what happens?
You
Don't,
perceive something.
don't you think that it becomes the part of imagination?
Yes, sir, but the other person may not perceive it in the same way.
You think that poetry is the mother of lies? It's you agree means you
Yes,
go in the group of Gosson.
Yes, sir, I believe.
चले जी, गोसन खुश हो जाएगा. Okay, next. Any other? Farhan Shams.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Actually, when we talk about the mother of lies on behalf of imagination, on the other hand, if we focus that it relates to the Elizabethan age, for example, it talks about history and philosophy. It's mean facts and figures. So there are some facts and figures which are also based on the wrong position. Like if you talk about the astronomers, so also give the some type of information which is not based on the reality. It can be imagined.
Hmm.
So on behalf of that, we can say that what we believe or what we believe on the reality, it can be wrong on
Hmm.
behalf of imagination.
Hmm. Okay, good. Any other?
Thank you.
Sir, I would like to say that what we think lies, if I see the both the answers, any physical thing, if we see that is truth, and what is inside our feelings and imagination, that is lies, that is not right. I think there are so many truths that lies inside our imagination, ideas and thinkings. There are so many. For example, we see the poetry that encourage us, motivate us.
Hmm.
So there are things. These maybe not possible we see physically, but it is not the mother of lies. There are so many truths.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, let me allow you to add more things into your statement. And that is, for example, if we say the poetry is the mother of lies, actually, poetry gives us some hope as well. If we all the time we become the practical person, like for example, I read a poetry and then I through the poetry I have created my home. I have started imagination, started putting myself in imagination that my house should be like that. Means over there should be the trees, there should be luxurious items, blah 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 blah. So it means that it is giving me some hope as well. If it is a mother of lies, I know that these are not the part of at the moment. These are not the part of reality at this time. But thinking or redeeming or going in such imagination will create some hopes as well. Anyhow, this is my basically understanding. You may agree or disagree, up to you. Yes, Miss Hina. Finally, you have come.
Actually, sir, there's so much voice problem. I'm just unable to just hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing. We are
Hello,
hearing
sir.
the
Can you hear me? Hello.
yes. Even we are hearing the chirping
Actually,
sound of.
there's so much net problem. I'm just unable to hear you voice clearly. Yes, please.
जी बोलिए, we are hearing.
Yes, sir. I would like to talk about the charge, which is about the abusement. Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
Hello.
अरे बोलिए ना. Yes. Yes,
Okay, so
please.
I would like to just give my point. I would like to give my point of view that poetry doesn't abuse any person. It
Hmm.
depend on person's mind and it's depend on observation that how people observe the things. So uh, it's all about a person that what he thinks. It's
Hmm.
all about their imaginations. Poetry itself, it doesn't abuse, but it's a man who abuses the poetry.
Okay. Very good. You have read somewhere else. Hmm?
Sir,
Okay.
voice is not clear. I'm sorry. Hello.
No, no problem. We have got your idea. Wonderful idea, by the way. Yes, it is the man who's using it as an abusive language. Poetry itself not. Okay. And the plot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
This is
very
what
good.
I said.
Okay, you said good. Plato has rightly banished poets from his ideal commonwealth. This is true. And we don't know the background that why did he say so and who was the targeted person. Let's see that. Okay, before
We are coming towards the next session. I want you to please write down these four charges, okay, and their answers too. जैसे अभी आपने कुछ बातें की ना, तो आप एक एक दो दो सेंटेंस में लिखिए, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्लास में वी वुड नेक्स्ट सेशन में आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम योर आंसर्स. what are your answers so far we have discussed, ठीक है. You can basically capture it, you can take the photo of it, screenshot आप इसका ले सकते हैं, and after 10 minutes I shall ask you people, okay. So we are having a break. Okay, have you taken